Well, good evening, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I hope everybody's had a great, finally freaking Friday. The countdown for me has begun. Um, I got tomorrow to finish getting ready. We got an early flight on Sunday. My daughters are coming with me, and my beautiful bride, Tracy. To go to Oxnard and cover training camp. It looks like we're going to be a lack of people. The Dallas Cowboys seem to have a lack of interest. The fans aren't there as heavy as they used to be. Talking to my man Law Nation today, he's like, you remember how it used to be shoulder to shoulder? And I'm sitting here looking at the Eagles, how many fans they had in the stands there. Sitting here looking at the Commanders, how many fans they have at at Commanders practice, and the Cowboys. Now, I will say the Cowboys have more open practices than the Eagles do or Washington do. So it'll be interesting to see the numbers at the end of the summer. But you have to believe that the Cowboys, people are tired of all the money, all the hype, and everything that the Joneses have done. This is one of those ones that's kind of crazy because what I've learned from training camp is you best figure out which field they're going to practice on before practice. Get to know one of the ushers that'll let you know which field they're going to be on, because as I was asking Law, I said, Law, with the raised platform, the tent, so you got the cover and everything else, that I thought it was $250 today. He said it's $300 a day. $300 a day. That the people that were in the platform, because there's two fields, and then you got the tower that's in between them. Okay, you got bleachers over here on this side with this field, and then you have the platform on that side with this field. They alternate fields, and you don't know from one day to another which one they're going to practice on. Well, the people who paid for being in the platform today, they were short because they were practicing on this field. They're a long ways away from being there. I'm curious to see how many people are in the spot. And you might say, well, you just sound like you're jealous because you can't afford to sit there. Well, you know what? You're right. I think it's ridiculous that somebody's having to pay $300 for a VIP section for practice. At some point, you got to feel like you're just being fleeced. And with the NFL, sometimes you can push too much to the point where people say enough is enough. People thought, hey, maybe I'm going to get a refund, or maybe I'm going to get Sunday ticket. Maybe I'll be able to get a package where I just pay for my team. Can't do that. NFL keeps it as a premium option. And now if you want to see games on Christmas, you got to have Netflix. You want to see the Eagles and you're not in that market on the season opener on Friday night, you got to have Paramount TV. You want to see Thursday night games, you got to have Amazon. You want to see tickets that aren't in your market, you got to have Sunday Ticket. The NFL, you may not be going to the stadium and paying all the ticket prices and the concession stand, but they're finding ways of getting your money from your living room. You may have all the amenities, but you still gonna pay one way or the other. And this is the thing I think the NFL needs to start worrying about is, at some point, people are gonna say, I'm not getting all these apps. I'm not spending all this money. But something hit me today. We had the Dak Prescott interview where he was basically saying, again, reiterating, it is a business, and if it ends up being I have to go somewhere else, so be it. It seems like he has it set in his mind that maybe that's what I'm going to do. It doesn't sound like he's "Don't cry for me, Argentina." That seeing him at training camp with his daughter, MJ, and things. There's pictures of him, videos with the coaches and MJ and Dak Prescott, you know, he doesn't look like he's stressed out. And when I look at Mike McCarthy up there at the press conference, he doesn't look like he gives a rat's ass about not having a contract either. It almost feels like this is the Jordan tour. Like Michael Jordan, I'm retiring this year, I'm leaving. And it's the farewell tour that he's soaking in all of training camp and Oxnard and the fans and the time with his daughter and everything else. That this is the long kiss goodbye. And Mike McCarthy, he looks good. He looks happy. He looks content. He looks like he's okay with whatever happens. And this is crazy to me because I sit here and I keep hearing people that just say, blow it up and start all over. If you're not satisfied with us making the playoffs and having 12 wins, 12 weeks that we are at least happy about victories, wait till you get rid of everybody and have to start over and you start having 5 and 12 teams year after year. When you're the New York Giants or the Commanders, yeah, because that's what we're looking at. As much as everybody wants to believe that Trey Lance is the guy, so far, he hasn't shown any consistency. He's had a couple of decent plays, but he's also had a lot of bad ones too. He's not challenging for Dak Prescott's spot. He's not even challenging for Cooper Rush's spot. The thing that's maddening to me is, if you're saying, let's tear it up and start all over, you're starting from zero. You are 90% there. 90%. And what I've seen in recent history is teams that supplement a good team to be a great team. I've seen teams that have ripped it up and have been trying to rebuild for a long time. The Jets come to mind. The Commanders come to mind since 1991. This all goes back to the Joneses because imagine, if you will, just for a second, just humor me for a second. What if 2 years ago when Bobby Wagner wanted to come to the Cowboys had signed him? What if the Cowboys actually listened to something like I said and said, hey, sign Demario Davis and not have spent that number one pick on Leighton Vander Esch, maybe went for somebody else? Because Demario Davis hasn't missed a game. Been a multiple Pro Bowl linebacker. Has been the heart and soul of his defense. And see, that's the difference of making the playoffs and being a disappointment and being a contender for a Super Bowl. Unfortunately, when you say tear it up and start all over, that means the Cowboys have to do what they're doing, finding bargain basement guys in the draft and so on. They're going to have to find a new CD. They're going to have to find a new Dak. They're going to have to find a new Micah. Find a new Zach Martin. That's going to be hard to rebuild a whole team. And that model, you're going to need so much. And you're going to have to hit on guys every single time. And we could look at last year's draft and say we got nothing out of that last year. No punch. Maybe there's some hope. Schoonmaker is staying healthy so far and seeming to get on track. Mozzie, contrary to what a lot of people have said, I've seen some things that actually make me feel a lot better about Mozzie Smith. I can't wait to go out in training camp and follow the defensive linemen, although here's the problem. Here's the hard part about following the defensive line. I don't know how they have it set up this year, but the way they had it set up before was when you walk in, okay, they've got the parking lot. You go through, they check your bags, make sure you don't have anything that you're not supposed to and all that. And then they have a few tents set up there so you can buy more merch and, so on and stuff. And then you start going in, there's all the porta-johns. There's a whole wall of porta-johns that are right there. And then they have the bleachers set up. And they have the fence, of course, where, that's the practice at, so it's the fields. The problem is where the defensive line have the sleds and all that, they're on the other side of the porta-johns. And then there's a wall on the other side of there where the townhouses are. So you can't get close to the defensive linemen when they're doing the sled work and doing all the one-on-one work. The other problem is, it used to be you could travel back and forth on the end zone from one side of the field to the other, but after that Dennis Houston catch in the end zone, there were people that were there that almost got hit, and they're worried about this player's safety. So now you either go to that side before practice or you don't go to that side. And it used to be you could kind of walk across there, snap a few pictures, and see the defensive line up close. So you can't really get up close to them. So it'll just basically be when they're actually in team that you're really able to get a good look at stuff. But be careful what you hear from practice, because we always hear about some guys that look incredible, and then we hear about some guys that look like bums. I've heard a lot of people that have been trashing Mozzie, and like I said, from what I'm looking at and understanding the position and seeing him moving his feet, keeping his shoulders square, being able to ride the lineman down the line and find the ball carrier, or seeing him trying to split the double team by turning his shoulders and dipping and holding the line, those are textbook things that you want to see. Now, I know people want to see him become, Reggie White because he was a first-round draft pick. That would be great if he were to become Reggie White. But you know what? I'll take him as a really good defensive lineman and understand that that's going to help my defense tremendously. All right, good people. That's all I got for you right now. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. And remember to tell the people you love how much you love them, because you might not get the chance again. Let me say shout out to Aisha Robinson. We've heard from her. I hope everything's going okay. Aisha, we miss you, and hope everything gets better. And Cowboy 1977, definitely put some prayers for him. He's getting a blood transfusion right now and is in a lot of muscle pain and stuff. So make sure you look out for your fellow man and things. All right, good people. I'll see you soon. Peace.